which is an audio production studio based here in Middlesbrough, and but as well as just a production studio, we license a lot of music from different artists. We publish a lot of music from different artists as well, and the main focus of the studio is to push that music into media industries, whether it be computer games, film, animation, that kind of stuff.
How did you
Got into it, I always liked the music of like the NES games and Sega games when I was a little kid, and sort of growing up getting into DJing, moved into getting into production. It's like sort of mid to late teens, and then I decided to do a music course. I came up here for my degree, which was like a mix of music and computer games, because that's what I wanted to do, write music for computer games and stuff. I saw a bit of a gap in the market around here, set up my own production studio catering for that market, and yeah, that's how we got into it, really. Band Control, which at the moment has one band with a couple of releases out, and then there are several other bands that we're talking to. What we do not do is license the band to the record label, because that means, you know, we then control what they do in terms of gigs, in terms of merchandise, what CDs they're shifting out their gigs, all that sort of stuff. We don't want to get involved with that, you know. We don't want to sort of control a band's music to the point of they've got to check everything with us before they go and do it, which is basically what happens if you're signed to a record label. The other labels are Bass Command, we'll come back to another time. That's got currently myself and Mark Kojak's Clough on it, along with a guy from Australia, Drone from Australia, and Noise Tech from USA. But again, they're not exclusively signed because not all of their work's appropriate for our label, and you know, we want them to build on other labels as well, and then, you know, it makes for better artists if you've got different avenues you can go down from their point of view. Basically, if we find, because it's normally local bands we work with the Band Control label, obviously highly international with the drum and bass label. But with the indie label, Band Control, we look at local bands, we look at local artists. So, because basically how we normally see them is we either see them live, or somebody will send me a link through online, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or something like that, one of the social networks, and then we sort of chase them up a bit online, see what kind of following they've got, what kind of music they're putting out, what their recordings are like, sort of quality. If we like what we hear and like what we see, we'll get in touch, normally meet up with the artists or bands in question, have a little chat with them, and yeah, take it from there, really. 5 to 10 years, certainly with Bass Command, that's going to grow, and hopefully after 10 years' time that's going to be pretty damn big. Band Control is slightly different because the way it was set up isn't set up for massive growth for the label itself. You know, the label was more of an output to grow artists, so we can then have their music become more in demand. Going back to the music in media, so if their music's in more in demand, we can, you know, charge more for it. We can get into bigger and better productions. So they've got two completely different outlooks, the two labels.